Husker Jake wants to know, what is the staff's plan for Hinrich Karr? I'm assuming running the option with Ramir and obviously maybe as a backup quarterback. And look, I don't think Rule's going to really tip his hand nor Marcus Satterfield, because you don't want anyone to know what the plan is for Hinrich Karr, because if there is a plan, you sure as hell ain't going to give it away.
Well, what if the plan is just to have him play quarterback for Nebraska in this offense? Isn't that what Hinrich would want?
Yeah, but if there was a plan to use him as like a wildcat or a red zone, short yardage.
Sure. I'm open to that, I guess. I don't know. I always get a little, I don't know why I get edgy. I almost do it on behalf of a Hinrich. When we start to move toward this specialty player where, how about just being a quarterback?
I have reservations too about if Dylan Raiola is the player you think he is and need him to be, you're going to take him off the field in goal line packages or whatever it may be. So like,
great point.
Maybe if you're like using Harburg as a non-QB, but I mean, this is Dylan Raiola and you brought him here for a reason, to go score you touchdowns. Like, I think that's
interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation.
But everything we've seen and everything that we've heard has suggested that their plan is for Hinrich Karr to be the number 2 quarterback.
The number 2 quarterback, not the number 2 backup tight end, the backup tight end or wildcat.
That said, he's too good of an athlete to just hold a clipboard. Like, I think they got to find ways to use him.
But what do you do? I mean, you have these great tight ends.
He caught a pass last year as a tight end.
Well, you got to pull him off the field. You got to pull Fedoni off.
Forfeiture. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Carter Nelson now coming in. You have a lot of skill players. I don't know why. I'm just saying, I don't know why you would put him out there when you have all those guys out there.
Yeah.
When you have Banks and Nayor, and now, I mean, you have Fedoni, you have on and on. Malachi Coleman waiting on the sidelines. Oh, we're going to stick Hinrich in there.
Can you put him out there, though, with Raiola at the same time and then motion Raiola out, then direct snap it to him? And I mean, that's what I would
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's what I would envision.
Okay, I'm open to the conversation.
Like where you have him out, but we're talking like maybe a couple times in a game. I mean, this is not like Rex Burkhead and the 09 Wildcat.
Tebow, Chris Sleek combo.
What you're getting is the old curmudgeon Sipple that I'm not big on gadgets.
Yeah, what if the offense is really good? Why would you want to screw around?
Right. That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
This isn't indoor. This isn't arena football. All right.
And this is a hard one from Bill. I mean, kind of some recency bias based on the stats last year and what's coming back. But is this the fastest and most athletic defense you've seen at Nebraska in the last 15 years? Look, I have a hard time saying that, Bill, because
15, that's
09 and 10. 09 and 10 were loaded with pros.
Those were some of the best defenses I've seen since the 90s.
I mean, do you remember in 2010 at Washington, Jake Locklear was a first-round draft pick, and Bo Pelini's secondary just made them look silly. And the coach of that team was this guy named Steve Sarkisian, who, by the way, could coach football pretty well.
What about we say the last 10 years, though?
10 years. So since 14 on?
What about the Randy Gregory, Levante David defense? And Alfonso Dennard.
Collins. Malik Collins.
I just have a hard time because there hasn't been really a lot of draftable pros at Nebraska.
No, that's what's interesting about this defense to me, guys, is I do like it. I like the sum of the parts.
But how many first, second, third rounders are there?
You don't see that, but you see a lot of good and very good players. It would be really good if someone raises to greatness. And somebody could. You could see that. Yeah. I mean, I think Nash would be a candidate. Ty Robinson's a candidate. I think Jamari Butler might be a candidate. I think Javin Wright might be a candidate.
Yeah.
Where
they got guys with potential, but right now there just isn't the star power for me to say that.
Right.
All right. I didn't give this one to Megan, but this one got my attention just now. Will Nebraska ever build a indoor stadium so they could actually compete with the big boys in baseball? Probably will never reach the College World Series or win it all until this happens.
Indoor baseball stadium?
There's just, I mean, unless somebody just left $100 million to Nebraska. I mean, I just don't see in today's era Nebraska's going to put that kind of money towards a baseball stadium.
Unless it was like some sort of like multi-sport complex where you could play baseball among other things inside of it, but a baseball specific dome.
I don't see it.
Who's got an indoor baseball stadium for college? But I mean,
their own? Nobody.
the Gophers will play inside the Viking stadium.
It's not their stadium though.
But it's not theirs. But
Yeah,
I don't see it happening.
no. And I mean, I think their best bet is to continue to repair their relationship with the Salt Dog folks and update and renovate Haymarket Park, because that needs to happen.
yeah, it does.
All right, let's move through. Yeah, you get all over the map here. When will Husker Online do a full facility tour? Brand new shiny toy. We haven't shown up. Look, we've seen the facilities, and we've posted some of these things between the training table, the weight room, and the recovery center. I don't, but we haven't been inside the locker rooms. I guess that'd be the one.
Well, they haven't been in there very long,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's part of it. They haven't. How long? Well, okay. I would ask you this, and this is somewhat revealing of me maybe not being up to date as I should. Are they all in now? Is the football team all in?
Yeah,
everything.
Everything. That they're eating there now too.
Okay.
The only thing that like Hausman Construction's been out of that thing for several months. Like, I mean, it's not like they just pull. I mean, they've been out for a long time.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's just interior, like small things that Nebraska is doing, but I think they're done. I mean, they're in there. They're eating there. The new food providers in there, so they're good. Okay, I got two more I want to get in. Quick one here. Would Dylan Raiola, if he was still committed to Ohio State or Georgia, would he be their starter? Look, I think we all would agree Georgia, no.
Not Georgia.
Carson Beck's the favorite, I think, to win the Heisman.
Yeah, he could be the number one overall pick in the draft.
But I think Ohio State's a great question.
Will Howard.
Yeah, because do they go get Will Howard if they have Dylan Raiola?
I haven't been impressed with Devin Brown. They have the kid from the Dakotas. Sean, come on. It starts with a K.
Keenholz.
Yeah, Keenholz. I don't know much.
Started the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I haven't been impressed with Devin Brown. Now, I saw Devin Brown in the bowl game with a bad ankle, so maybe I didn't see a representative Devin Brown. But would they bring in Will Howard with Dylan? Here's the long and short of it. Dylan would have a shot to start Ohio State.
Yeah, he'd have a shot.
Based on what we've seen, yeah, he'd have a shot.
If Dylan doesn't come to Nebraska, I believe Kyle McCord was probably going to be the starter here.
Yeah.
Like he would have come here and he would probably been the starter.
Going back to December, huh?
I mean, that week it all played out.
Right.
I think McCord probably ends up coming.
People would be very interested in what you just said. McCord was here.
Hey, he's here.
McCord was here. We know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. He was at 1890
on an official visit.
He was in the state. Yeah, he was on official visit. You think he would have done it? I mean,
I've talked to people
Syracuse,
that
Nebraska, Syracuse. Come on. I mean, what are we talking?
I talked to people that were with him, and before the Raiola, like they're like, "Oh, he's coming." I mean, he was probably coming at that point. It felt that way, at least.
Interesting.
I mean, he went to Syracuse because Fran Brown and those. I mean, they brought all those new coaches there.
Right. McCord would have been fine here because they brought in so many receivers. Would they have gotten those receivers though?
I mean, one of the reasons Naor and Banks came is because they saw
Dylan.
they watched Dylan throw and they were like, oh,
right. Now, would they have come here with McCord?
Well,
he
threw to Marvin Harrison Jr.
I know he did, but I'm just saying, would he have been as impressive as Dylan? I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't have felt as genuine either. Just kind of a 1-year rent-a-player type thing, and it wouldn't have the feel that we have right now. I think we all agree at that. All right,
100%.
Final question: we're taking the Husker Online show to Zipline to the beer hall on August 15th. Somebody asks, would we ever consider doing an outdoor post-game show?
Hello.
Look, it'd be a lot of fun, but I'm a one-man band here. I don't think people understand. Like, I set up all the equipment and get everything ready to go. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it on top of the normal game duties that we do.
We need an assistant.
One of the reasons why our post-game show, we'll have to train them. I don't have time to train somebody. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. Could we be at that point someday? Maybe. I mean, our post-game show numbers are one of them. I mean, that's become more popular than the written pieces we do. Sorry,
there
Sid.
was a message.
I mean, the engagement and
that was a message.
No, the engagement and the interaction that we receive in the postgame show, there's a demand for that.
100.
I think Husker fans want to talk to us or people that cover the team in our roles immediately after games in that fashion. Somebody. And
I just want to talk.
So we enjoyed doing the post-game show, and the reason it works so well is we can just zip right up here to the office right after the game ends
with zip line.
One thing I'll say is it would have to be somewhere other than here if we're doing it outside, because like through the windows I can hear just like people going like running like shirtless down the street, people fighting, having like domestic arguments, cops,
we've seen
fire trucks, like it's wild. It's a wild scene. Post game. Oh, we've seen it. You know what I'm talking about.
Some of these 11 a.m. games, there'll be a DJ down there, and the people that make it to the point when the DJ comes, they shouldn't be out. I mean, like
they've been going at it for a long time. It was a
fast machine. You just like see like AC/DC just blasting out a window.
Yeah. So our location, we'd have to think about that one. I don't know if we could just pop
I don't think the
office.
postmaster is going to let us broadcast on the front lawn of the post office.
We need some form of security. Just
I think the
for
answer is
let's
keep it. Let's keep it in here.
Well, my theory is so many more things could go wrong than the show wouldn't get on the air, and then that's a problem.
Let's keep it in here.
Yeah, simplify it. We've had a few studio guests bring food up.
Yes, and we appreciated